Hi, Peter Charles here, Hooked to Life Fly Fishing, and today we're going to tie the black spider. I'm going to use a technique for it that I've shown in a previous video where I use UTC thread for tags. So the approach is a little different from what you're used to with Atlantic salmon flies, but it's a good shortcut without really hurting the appearance of the fly. So let's get started. For a hook, I'm using a salmon single in a size 4. The first thread I'm using is orange UTC 140. I would prefer 200, but 140 is all I have. Then we'll be using small silver oval tinsel. The tail and the wing is black squirrel. I'll be changing over to black thread in an 8/0. The body is black yarn, and the throat is black hackles. So we're going to start with our orange just in front of the hook point. This is kind of unusual. Normally you lay on a body of thread, but in this case we're not going to. This is a yarn body. That's one of the things to keep in mind. With yarn bodies, you do not have to be careful about how you lay on the thread over the hook. Okay, now we'll put in our rib, our tag I should say. I'll keep that underneath. Just move that out of the way. I'll undo this. Change hands. Lock that in place. I've left a little tag there. I'm just going to push that underneath. And then I'm just going to carefully wrap this forward. And just go back. Now, there's a little bit of that silver showing, so I'm going to make sure I cover that up. I just nicked my thread on the hook point. That's not good. We'll just live with it. Okay, now we can tie this off. A couple of half hitches to hold it in place. And we're done with our orange. Now we're going to use the speed method I showed in one of my steelhead patterns of how to tie in long tailing material and save a lot of time. So we'll just get this off the return. Now I'll take a little bit of my squirrel here. We don't want much. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to size this about the length I want. There's a strain there. I'll get rid of that one. And then I'm just going to put a couple of firm wraps in here. Now for our wool. And now the rib. Now pull everything up and just get it down. Now just bring it up onto the orange. Now come forward. Now we tie on our black yarn, turn right at the back, then come forward. And now for our rib. Now, you see we've got some squirrel starting to spike up on us. We'll just put a soft wrap of the tinsel at the back. That'll hold that down. Now I can come forward. I'm going to change hands. Now just double check that your tail hasn't moved. Just give that a little tweak. Now for the black throat. That looks to be a little long. Here we go. And now for the wing. We'll stack it. And this is a sparse wing. We're not going to go heavy with it. So in one of my videos I showed using a technique to tie in slippery hair. We won't need to do that with this one. There's just not enough hairs to make it important to do. And we're going to put it about the length of the hook. Stray in there. Now we whip finish. So we have our black spider ready to apply some head cement and go fishing. Okay, there's the black spider. It's a relatively simple pattern. It's quite slim. It'll penetrate well, it'll get down quite well, so it's a good pattern to use when you need to get the fly a little deeper, and I think it would be a good idea to use on when you've got sort of dingy water and you want something that's going to show up. The black often shows up when the water's a little off color. So, the black spider. Cheers.